Once in a time past forgetting, in a far place quite near, there lived two poor children. A boy whose name was Kay, and a little girl called Gerda, who loved each other as brother and sister. They lived opposite each other in attic rooms, and they played every day in summer in their little rose garden on the roof. On cold winter days, when they were separated, they would warm coppers on the stove and stick them on the frozen window panes to make tiny peepholes through which they might spy each other across the gap between the houses. That night, as Kay slept, a large snowflake floated softly by his window. It hovered in the air and then grew slowly, slowly into the figure of a beautiful woman. She was clothed in a gossamer gown of glittering starry flakes with a crown of sparkling blue crystals. They drove faster and faster through the square, and Kay screamed with delight as they raced over the frozen streets. The snow began to fall, at first slowly, then more and more heavily, until Kay could not see the square through the impenetrable white. He began to feel frightened, but the driver smiled and nodded at him, and he remained where he was. The white sleigh circled still faster, then, slowly leaving the ground, it passed through the city gates and sped like the wind through the storm. Kay cried and tried to loose his sled, but his screams trailed after him into the unanswering snow, and his fingers grew numb in the icy wind. It was there on the hat, the prettiest flower of them all, the rose. Suddenly all her memories returned. The tiny rose garden on the roof, the tales of the old grandmother, and her search for Kay. Oh, how late it is! I must leave to find Kay! She cried as she rushed through the garden, out of the gate, and into the world. But now it was no longer summer, as it had been in the old woman's magic garden. As evening fell, the crow reappeared, bearing a little roll from the palace kitchen, for he knew Gerda would be very hungry. "You will not be admitted to the palace. A little girl like you, and with bare feet," he said. "But don't cry. We shall smuggle you in by a secret back stairway that leads to the bedrooms." He led Gerda through the palace gardens, where they waited until all were asleep within, then disclosed to her a tiny door left slightly ajar, hidden behind a hawthorn bush. They entered, and as they climbed the dark stairs, Gerda's heart beat with fear and joy, for mingled with the apprehension of the secret black stairway was the longing to see Kay again. "Gold! It is gold!" chortled the highwayman, and the coach drove its way through the dark wood. Immediately they were upon it, killing the coachman and the footman, and dragging little Gerda from her seat. The leader, a horrible old hag adorned with clinking gold bracelets and twin pistols, drew her glittering knife lightly across the girl's throat. But then two of the pigeons flew down gently beside the poor girl. "We have seen little Kay," they said. "He was drawn by the Snow Queen's sleigh to the far north. They passed over us in the night, and all but we too died from her frosty breath." This is a story of good and evil, of ice and the warmth of the sun, of a little boy and a little girl, and of a beautiful lady, the mistress of the ice and winds, the Snow Queen.